Dear students, let us discuss Stern-Gerlach experiment. This Stern-Gerlach experiment, which provides the experimental proof for the features of vector atom model. The features of vector atom model are space quantization and electron spin. These two are proved by this experiment. The experimental arrangement, it consists of an electric oven. The silver is taken in that electric oven. The silver is heated electrically. The atoms evaporated from the silver are made to pass through this opening, and then they are made to pass through, or those atoms are collimated into a beam using the slits S1 and S2. That narrow beam of atoms then made to pass through a non-homogeneous magnetic field. A very strong non-homogeneous magnetic field is applied here. See, the shape of the magnets is made like this to make the magnetic field non-homogeneous and very strong. So the narrow atomic beam passes through this strong non-homogeneous magnetic field, then they are made to fall on a photographic plate. And in the experiment, when it was observed that when the field was switched off, when there was no field, when this field was switched off, a mark such like this was observed on the screen. A straight line mark without any deviation in the path. A straight path was observed. Such a mark is observed on the screen. And when the field was on, magnetic field was on, the mark was found to be like this. Instead of a single straight line mark, the two marks on either side of the straight line was observed on the screen. This was the experiment conducted by Stern and Gerlach. And here, the two marks observed on the screen gave the idea that the atomic beam or the atoms in the beam, that atoms of the beam were not having the deviation or not having the same deviation. Some were having deviations in one direction, some were having deviations in another direction. That's why when the field was on, such a mark was observed on the screen. Now, what is the principle of this experiment? Here, the atomic beam is used, and that atomic beam or the atoms of the beam, they behave like tiny magnets or the magnetic dipoles. The atoms, they behave like tiny magnets or magnetic dipoles, and a magnetic dipole in a uniform magnetic field, it experiences torque. Whereas the magnetic dipole, if it is in a non-uniform magnetic field, along with the torque, it experiences a translatory force. So here, in this experiment, non-homogeneous magnetic field was applied. So the atomic beam, the atoms or the tiny magnets, magnetic dipoles, they experienced torque as well as a translatory force. Let the field strength be varying at a rate of dB by dx. It is called the field gradient. Field is non-uniform. Let the field gradient be dB by dx. Means the change of the field with the distance, with the length. See, the field is varying along x direction. Variation of the strength of the field along this direction is dB by dx, called the field gradient. Now see here, CD is the atomic magnet or a magnetic dipole. Let CD be the atomic magnet or a magnetic dipole. Let P be the pole strength of this magnetic dipole. P, the pole strength. Each poles, their strength is P. Now, at this point P, let B be the strength of the field. This pole C experiences a magnetic field of strength B. And field is varying along x direction at a rate of dB by dx, so that the pole D experiences a field of strength B plus dB by dx L cos theta. What is this L cos theta? This length. This is L cos theta. For every dx, field changes dB. So, dB by dx, rate of variation of the field strength. So, for the length L cos theta, this is the change or increase in the field strength. So that at this point, the field strength is B plus dV by dx L cos theta. This is L cos theta. How? L is length of this atomic magnet or magnet dipole, separation between the dipoles. Theta, angle made by this axis of the dipole with the varying direction of the field. This theta is the angle made. So that cos theta is adjacent by L. So that this is L cos theta. So the pole D experiences a field of strength B plus dB by dx L cos theta. Because of this change in the field strength, this dipole, atomic magnet, experiences torque and the translatory motion. It experiences translatory motion so that it aligns, making angle theta with the direction of the field. Now, these two poles, they experience different forces. The force experienced by the pole C is PB, and that force is in this direction. Whereas the pole D experiences the force P into B plus dB by dx L cos theta. Force is P into the strength of the field. That's the force. See, in case of electric charges, force experienced, in case of an electric dipole also, say there PE sin theta, we consider it as PE sin theta. When theta is 90, it is PE. P the pole strength, E the strength of the field. Similarly here, in case of a magnetic pole, P the pole strength. Instead of electric field strength, it is magnetic field strength B. So PB is the force experienced. Now, these two forces, the forces are, say, one is PB, another one P into B plus dV by dx L cos theta. So what is the net force experienced by the atomic magnet? These two are acting in opposite directions. So that the net force is difference between these two. This minus this. We get the force experienced by that atomic magnet as P dV by dx L cos theta. Or it is also written as dV by dx P into L cos theta. P into L, product of pole strength and the length of the axis. See here. This is the pole strength. The two poles separated by distance TL. So this product PL is nothing but magnetic dipole moment. This product gives the magnetic dipole moment, nothing but mu. So that force experienced by this atomic magnet in this non-homogeneous magnetic field. What is that force? It is the translatory force. dV by dx mu cos theta. So here, suppose the atoms, they move in this field. Let the field length be L, the total path traveled, let it be L before they hit the photographic plate. Let the atoms be traveling with the velocity say v, and let t be the time taken to travel through this field of length L. So that we define velocity of the atoms as v equal to L by t. The velocity of the atomic beam, it is L by t. L is the length of the path or that magnetic field. T the time taken, v is the velocity. Now here, since the field is non-homogeneous, the atoms experience translatory force, means they get accelerated. So that in the direction of the field. So that acceleration of the atoms along x direction, it is ax due to this force fx. And by definition, ax is fx by m, f equal to ma. Using that, we get ax as fx by m. What is m? Mass of the atom, mass of that silver atom. Now, here the atoms, after passing through this non-homogeneous field, they get displaced or they hit the photographic plate and they produce a mark like this on the screen. From the actual path, there will be, suppose this is the mark produced in the absence of the magnetic field. When the field is switched off, then the mark produced in the presence is one is up like this, other one is down, below this. Such a mark is produced on the screen. That mark is this one. So here, this distance is called as the displacement of the atoms from the actual path. and the displacement of the atoms in the field denoted as dx. What is dx? See, this displacement is taken as dx, displacement of the atomic beam from the actual path. Actually, in the absence, they should strike like this on the screen, but because of the field, they have displaced, that is dx. So that the displacement dx is given by half ax t square. We use the formula s equal to ut plus half at square. U0 means s is half at square, s is the displacement dx, half ax t square. So that dx is half ax into what is t? T is L by V whole square. And therefore, now substitute here ax. What is ax? It is fx by m. So that dx is half fx by m L by V whole square. This is the displacement of the atomic beam from its actual path. By substituting fx, the expression for force, what is it? dv by dx mu cos theta. We get dx as half dv by dx mu by m L square by V square cos theta. This is the displacement produced, displacement of the atomic beam. Now, in the experiment, by knowing m, mass of the atom, that length of the path L, velocity, dv by dx, cos theta, and dx. By knowing all those things, this mu, magnetic moment, was calculated for, magnetic moment of the silver atom was calculated. And from the experiment, the value obtained was exactly 1 Bohr magneton. What is Bohr magneton? The smallest unit of magnetic moment. It is nothing but the magnetic moment of the electron. And in the experiment, the value obtained was exactly equal to 1 Bohr magneton. Then, silver atom contains only one valence electron, that is in the s state. For s state, L is 0. When L is 0, in the presence of the magnetic field, ML is 0. L0 means, what it says? Orbital angular momentum of the electron is 0. Orbital angular momentum of the electron 0. Now, here, the atomic beam deviated in the magnetic field. It is observed that atomic beam was deviated in the magnetic field. Then, this deviation was explained due to the orientations of S related to the magnetic field. See there, the magnetic moment was found to be 1 Bohr magneton, but orbital angular momentum 0 means no contribution of this orbital angular momentum to this magnetic moment. Therefore, this magnetic moment, what found there, or from the experiment what they got, was mainly due to the spin of the electron. It was contributed only by spin, thereby proving the electron spin concept of vector atom model. This confirms, see there, since there was two orientations, one orientation was predicted as parallel to the direction of the field, other one was predicted as anti-parallel to the applied field direction. So that two orientations were found in the experiment, and that was predicted due to the spinning motion of the electron as the orbital angular momentum is 0. This confirms the electron spin concept of vector atom model. So one feature was confirmed by the experiment. Other one is space quantization. See here, in the silver atom, electron in the S state, and for S state, L0, when L is 0, J can have only one value, that is half, minus half is not possible. For J plus half, the possible values of Mj are 2J plus 1, nothing but two values. So Mj values are only 2 plus half and minus half. Mj can have only two values, plus half and minus half. What this Mj gives? Orientation of the orbit in the magnetic field. Orientation of the orbit with respect to the direction of the magnetic field. How many orientations? Only two means the orientations of the orbit of the electron is also quantized, which is nothing but space quantization. This the other feature, space quantization of vector atom model is also confirmed. This is how Stern-Gerlach experiment provides the proof for the features of vector atom model.